What's up guys, Travis here with Every Single Sunday. Today we are doing a review for you on Sherco's SE300. Alright guys, so basically Sherco motorcycles. We all know the name Sherco, we know the trials bikes, but we don't know a whole lot about the actual motorcycles. We see Wade Young and a couple other guys out there crushing it on the hard enduro scene. But here in America, KTMs are king. KTM, Husqvarna, and all that stuff. So a few weeks back, Sherco makes an announcement. They say, hey, look over here. We got Cody Webb on the team. And I went, what the hell? Cody's leaving KTM, this giant factory team, to go to Sherco and maybe be out of a Sprinter van at some of the events? Or who knows? And then a couple days later, Quinn Wentzel is on the team as well. And I went, all right, I need to look into this. I need to get on a Sherco. I need to go ride one of these things. And I need to see what it's all about because I'm definitely interested. If those two guys are going over there, something's got to be good. Once I made my mind up that I needed to go ride one of these, I reached out to my friend Bo at Ready to Ride Rentals in Phoenix, Arizona. He has this beautiful 2019 right here. It's a SE300 Factory Edition. However, his 19 Factory was booked up for the day, so he reached out to a local dealer called Hard Enduro Outfitters, also in the Phoenix area, talked to Wayne over there, and Wayne was able to set us up with a 2019 SE300. While it's not the factory that I really wanted to ride, I do appreciate those guys letting us take the bike out and put a full day on it. What's up guys, Travis here with Every Single Sunday. We're out here riding with Bo with Ready to Ride Rentals. They're a Phoenix-based company. They bring bikes out to races. They do rentals here, guided tours, all sorts of stuff. Today, got a loaner bike from them and Hard Enduro Outfitters hooking us up. It's a 2019 Sherco SE 300. Gonna be a lot of fun here. Gonna take this thing out, put some time on it, and see how the Shercos work for us. So jumping on the bike here feels really good. Really easy to balance on compared to the KTM for some reason, and I'm really used to my KTM, so this is gonna be a little different for me today, but it should be a damn good time. So alright guys, so basically here's how this review is going to work. It's going to be kind of one of my regular ride videos, except my narration. I'm kind of talking about the bike all day, what I like about it, what I don't like about it, and how I feel it does in certain parts of the ride. At the end of the video, I'm going to kind of do a breakdown. I'm going to go over a couple different aspects of the bike, the engine, the chassis, how I fit on it, and what my final thoughts are. So stick around for that. If you're new to the channel, make sure to subscribe, and let's see what the Sherco is all about. Just gonna bring the brake in just a little bit.
Any other adjustments?
No, feeling good so far. Bike feels really, really good. Alright guys, now like I mentioned before, this is a 2019 Sherco SE300. The E is the Enduro version, or sorry, SE is the Enduro version. And the 19s and the 20s are very, very similar bikes. The bikes got redesigned for 19, so same frame, same engine for the most part through 2020. The standard model bike that I'm riding today has WP suspension, something similar to what you'd find on a KTM or a Husqvarna. If you move up to the Sherco factory version, you step up to KYB suspension front and rear. You also get a few other things like some anodized wheels and nice parts here and there, but for the most part they're going to be pretty similar on the bikes, just a bunch of cool little factory looking stuff, and it's something that I'd want on the bike for sure. If I was to pick up a new Sherco, I'd go with the factory. How you feeling?
Whew. Always get arm pump in the morning.
Yep, start of the ride always gets me going and kind of have a second wind.
Exactly. We'll go this way. Bit of a hill climb. Test the torque on that thing.
All right. I like it.
Yeah?
Feels a little tiny for me, different bar setup than I'm used to, but for the most part, the bike feels really, really good. Biggest thing I was concerned about going into this thing was the non-counterbalanced motor or engine, whatever you want. And it's not that bad. I feel it a little bit in the bars, like you mentioned, feel a little bit more in the pegs.
Does it go away though?
It does. I'm not really noticing it. When I first jumped on, it was kind of in my head, but besides that, I really don't notice it. So I'm curious to go as the day goes on if it's still going to be there. So yeah, feeling really good.
Later in the day. Now, do you feel like besides the short bars, does the pegs feel like they're in a weird position, or is that all in my head?
Thinking it's in yours, they feel pretty normal to me. They feel like a KTM for the most part. The bike feels really similar. Okay. As far as the setup factory, but on my KTM, I also have my pegs down and back a little bit with the Fastway pegs. Right. And that was a change I really like. So if they make one for this bike, if I do end up getting a SHERCO, it'd probably be something I want to try out.
I have my pegs, just gotta get them installed, see if I like it. But nice. I've always struggled with peg connection to the bike. It's taken me like 2 years to get used to KTM, and I just finally did this last year, and then it clicked. Like, I love it. Now I'm on a different bike. I'm like, oh, it doesn't feel right.
No, bike feels really, really solid. Digging it, excited to get some more time on it and see what it does the rest of the day.
Let's go.
So, you want to go up first? So Bo is riding a 2020 Husqvarna TE300i. Once again, I'm on a 2019 SHERCO. 20s are supposed to have a little bit better bottom end on the factory edition, and some rear shock changes, some other stuff. So as you can see though, guys, this is a pretty gnarly climb right here. Nothing super crazy, but nice and steep. All right, guys, we're gonna try this thing out. We're gonna start in second gear, see if we can lug this thing, see what the engine does. Gonna drop it down to first. This thing goes up at like nothing.
It's easier to climb stuff on this bike, less effort.
It lugs very, very well. Started in second, dropped it down to first for the second half, and you can really get it down low in the RPMs and just get on the gas a little bit. I weigh 255 and it still just picks up like nothing. Really impressed with it. All right, guys, so it's our first steep descent on the SHERCO here. My only issue with this bike right now, it's got a really low bar setup on it. That's what the guys over at Hard Enduro Outfitters run on their bikes, and Kyle Redman and those guys. So that's what this is set up with. And yeah, just kind of feeling it out. But for me, I'd want something a little taller. So like I was saying, this is a 2019 SE. The E is the enduro bike. Wow, I'm totally cheating right here with my feet on the ground. It's the enduro bike. It's got a headlight on it and automatic fan, and I'm not sure what else. I'm not too familiar with the SHERCOs yet. But they also have an SC model, which is their cross country, similar to like a KTM XC. No headlight. But yeah, so XE, or sorry, SE. It's the bike you want. Although this is not the factory edition, so it has WP forks on it versus KYBs, and it's got black wheels instead of blue, and a few other little things here and there. But bike is absolutely phenomenal. Very happy with it right now, and feels great through this stuff for pretty much bone stock. That was a second gear lug right there, guys, just in case you're wondering. This motor will dig deep. This is amazing out here.
totally a different kind of desert than I'm used to riding. My 3 beeps. Woo! A little chunky coming down there. And loose. Oh yeah, that's some good stuff right here. Woo! A little steep there at the end.
See, if it wasn't for ghost riding, I wouldn't get up half.
All right, guys, so we've been riding map 1 or map, what do they call it here? I don't know, it doesn't say, it just says Made Italy. This is the fast map. If you put the switches broken over to this side, that decreases power, so we're gonna try that for the next ride up this next hill. All right, so that made a noticeable difference on the SHERCO. This is actually, it changes the power valve electronically when it opens, versus like a KTM, it's done with a spring. So this one is actually a lot more noticeable. So we're going back to the big power mode because I'm a big boy at 255. Unless I start racing more next year, then I'm gonna be a big boy at like 220. Yeah, once we went back over, it gets that luggability back, but if you're a lighter rider and you don't want that much power, it's neat to be able to actually have something that makes a big difference there. That was second gear, just cruising up that thing. Motor is absolutely ridiculous. One thing I do want on this bike that I don't have on it right now is my seat cover on my KTM. I have one of the Val de Sol gripper seat covers that KTM Hard Parts sells, and feeling pretty slippery on this one right now. But I think the factory version of this bike comes with a gripper seat cover, so might solve my little problem I'm having there. That was third gear up that hill, guys, just lugging.
Alright guys, so as the day went on, initially I said I wasn't that comfortable on the bike due to the bars and some other stuff, but as the day goes on, I get more and more comfortable on this, and I actually feel better hitting these uphills, downhills, and especially the loose, steep downhill sections that are covered in rocks like we're going to come into over this crest right here. I traded Bo back and forth with his KTM a couple times, or sorry, his Husky a couple times throughout the day, and I definitely prefer the SHERCO. I trust it more. I felt like I was making little mistakes that were causing me to almost crash when I was on the Husky, but when I jumped back on the SHERCO, it would just track through these things, and I wouldn't even notice they were there. Coming down this hill, I did some stuff that would have normally sketched me out, but on this bike it just goes straight through them and makes me feel like a better rider.
All right, maybe second gear wasn't the best idea. All right, back into first gear. Guys, I'm getting my helmet back on. We just took a little break here. So Bo's a good guy. I met Bo at the Kenda Rev Limiter, the hard enduro last year. I think it was in December last year out in Texas. They're moving it to March this year, March 25th or 28th or something. My birthday / anniversary weekend. So we'll see how that goes over. I'm planning on going though. Anyway, met Bo out there, chatted quite a bit, and then ended up running into him on the race course. So if I got a clip, if I can find, I'll drop it in right here for you guys to see. But we ended up working together, and haven't really talked much since then, but chatting today, we both kind of remember it, and it's been fun to reminisce and catch up a little bit. So, all right, guys, bike is awesome. Let me check this thing out for you, give you guys a look again what we're running here. It's so much fun. I'm really enjoying the SHERCO. The power is amazing. This engine right here, it's not counterbalanced like the KTM, so it vibrates a little bit, but honestly, I don't even realize it anymore. When I first jumped on, I felt it, but 45 minutes in or whatever, it feels absolutely amazing. I'm in love with this thing. It lugs up the hills like I want my KTM to. I'm a big guy. I want more power. I have a high compression head on my KTM, and this thing still feels better. So might be putting one of these in my garage very soon. I like it. Also, guys, it's hot out here. It's 90 today. Fan comes factory on this bike. Bike's running at 194 right now. I think I've seen the fan come on one time today. My KTM, it's on all the time, running 200, 210, 220, so we're running cooler and making more power. And these come with a factory fan. They come with an FMF pipe, FMF muffler. The factory version comes with blue wheels, some other cool stuff. Go over the list later with you, post some stuff here, but I'm really impressed with this thing. Wait for this thing to fire up. That was a little third gear start for you. Anyway, we're going to take the lead for a little bit and push the SHERCO a little bit more through the downhills. I love this thing through the downhill. It just floats. The KTM, even with my PDS, sometimes the back of it feels a little high. You see some of the guys shortening up the rear shock, so it doesn't feel so stink bug, but this thing's got a really nice balance to it. Even with the low bars, it doesn't feel too bad. They're kind of growing on me, but like I said, I'm 6 foot, and I'm really starting to feel more comfortable all the time on this.
I skid to a halt the whole way, and I stopped right here.
That's second gear climb right there. Yeah, it was second. Just chugs up this thing like nothing. So stuff like this, guys, we're just chugging along in third gear right here. Plenty power for the bike to flip through this stuff for me. Something I really like about it. KTM, I would have had to run second and run at a little bit higher RPM. This thing's just so smooth, controllable, and absolutely bitchin'. Drop it down a second for this part. A little bit of engine braking. Nice little plow out the canyon there. Fuck yeah. See if we can get over here. I hear him saying something. I don't know what he's saying. Yeah. It was definitely one of those sections where the bike was just locked in. I felt good, and then I got to the bottom part with the rut and I was going pretty fast. I'm like, oh no. But luckily everything fit through there just fine. I didn't hang up, and it was just epic. Woo.
Alright guys, so the engine on this bike is so smooth. You get to sections like this, and no matter where you're at in the power band, it makes great power, and you can just ask for more and more and more, and it comes on and it runs really strong all the way through, but it doesn't have a hit even with a standard carburetor like this. It just pulls smooth, there's tons of traction, and you can go up pretty much anything on it, and you can drop that RPM super low and lug it back up. So SHERCO's doing something right in the engine department.
Third gear cruising here on the hilltops. And Bo's a good rider, so if you guys decide to come out here and do a day with him, he's got some awesome stuff, some good hard enduro canyons. This is just kind of their cruisy, choppy, fun trail, and then some easy stuff also if that's what you're into. Yeah, buddy, killing it.
So one thing I do not like about the SHERCO is there's no kickstart on it, but that's the same for the new KTM and Huskies for 2020. But on the KTM and the Husky, you can add it to the engine. On the SHERCO here, there's not a spot to add it on, so you're stuck with just a electric start on it. So you got to carry like a jumper pack just in case something happens. But I've had so many bad battery experiences on my 2018 KTM where I'm happy to have a kickstart. It's just, it would definitely be in the back of my head not having one.
That was all second gear up that hill, guys, all second gear. Oh yeah. Kick this thing down into first for out of here. Oh my God, I'm in love.
Dude, I don't ride this trail very much, but I should. It's freaking a blast.
It's so much fun. Such a great thing to ride. So much different than when I get back home.
Dude, I love this nasty rocky trails.
This thing just soaks it up. Woo. Oh wow, that's steep. He's leaving us. We gotta catch him. All right, I don't want to catch him through this. I just want to stay on down the hill while we can see. One thing I'm missing on here is my seat. I have one of those gripper seats. It's the Val de Sol one, the KTM factory.
Yeah.
But I think the factory Sherco comes with one also with the ribs on it.
Yeah, mine did. Mine has that.
Yeah, it's weird being on this. It's so comfortable though. I'm used to my KTM brick seat. So
The butt slides back.
woo, it's steep. Steep coming down. Oh yeah, I like this.
Alright guys, let's start working on a wrap up for this video and kind of break the bike down. First up, let's talk about the engine. My number one concern coming into the day was that it's not counterbalanced. After having counterbalanced KTM and Husky bikes, I was really worried that this thing would rattle my fillings out. I noticed it the first 5 minutes when I got on the bike, didn't think about it after that. When I traded bikes with Bo and went to the counterbalanced bike, it felt smooth. I got back on the Husky again. I could definitely notice a difference, but once again it goes away super fast and I don't feel like it made me tired. The power this thing produces is absolutely phenomenal. This is what I want out of an engine that I've never been able to find with my KTM, so I'm very, very impressed as a whole with what Sherco's doing with their power plant. As far as the frame or the chassis goes, the bike feels a little bit smaller than my KTM, but I also have my bars forward and some lowered pegs to open it up. So without being on a stock KTM in a while, it's hard to say. But the chassis on this bike, the way it's set up, is very, very confidence inspiring. It's fun, it's playful, it feels really light, it gets in and out of the corners really well, and does everything I want it to do. So just like the engine, I'm super, super impressed with the chassis, and I'm super excited to hopefully buy one of these bikes here in the near future, because I'm sold on it. I think it's absolutely amazing. As for the suspension on the bike, obviously this is not the factory version that I wanted to buy. This is the standard version, so this has WP forks on it, same as the KTM, which felt pretty good on the bike. It's what I'm used to. and it felt really good. So I do want to throw a leg over a factory that has the KYB stuff, because everybody rants and raves about how good it is. But without having a bike to test, I don't want to comment too much on how much better the KYB stuff is, because I'm frankly clueless on the stuff. I've been riding WP for years. I really like it, but I'm eager to try some of the KYB stuff. Alright guys, next thing I want to talk about is SHERCO as a company. Obviously they've been very small in the US. They haven't had a big presence. There hasn't been a great part support as far as I know, except for the trial stuff, who was handled by RYP, Ryan Young Products, which is a big trials distributor. So RYP has become the distributor and main parts person for the Enduro line of bikes now also. They picked up all that earlier this year, and they're the reason that they're making this big push in the US. So RYP is kind of behind all that. I also went to the AIM Expo out in Ohio earlier this year. I had a chance to talk to everybody working the SHERCO booth there, and everyone was really excited, smart, knowledgeable, and the stuff that they said they were going to do, they're following through with. They said they were going to have a big push for 2020. They've signed guys like Quinn and Wenzel, and there's just so much hype around these bikes right now that RYP, Ryan Young Products, is doing a phenomenal job with all this stuff. And if you guys haven't seen it, you must be living under a rock. Alright guys, and last but not least, my overall impression on this bike. And if you have not gathered it by now, I am in love with this bike. I want one. I think it's absolutely phenomenal. And if you guys have a chance to put a leg over one, I highly suggest you take it, unless you're not wanting to buy a bike. Because if you don't want to buy a new bike, stay the hell off the SHERCO, because it's phenomenal. If you guys do want to try one out, talk to your local SHERCO dealer, and maybe they can set you up with a demo. If you want to come out to Phoenix and do some cool riding like this, or some good canyons, talk to Bo at Ready to Ride Rentals. He'll set you up. Their prices are fair, and I mean, where else do you get to go and ride a bike for 5 or 6 hours in a day before you buy it? So that's pretty much it. Thank you guys so much for watching the video today. Make sure to subscribe, share it with your friends, and spread the good word. These SHERCOs are on the up and up, and they're going to be popping up more and more of them all over the place. So, alright guys, thanks for riding with us today. Get out there, have a good time, be safe.